I have always loved Pixar movies, except for the ones that felt rushed throughout the 2020s and other stuff like that. Aside from Cars, Wall-E, and Monsters Inc., I especially love the Toy Story franchise. Yeah, I know I am like 15 years old now, and I should be watching other films, but I really like the Toy Story franchise. While the Lightyear movie was pretty garbage, no pun intended, I really liked the third film, since it had a nice scene at the dump. Well, enough of that nonsense, let's get into my experience with it, or more specifically, a scary alternate ending. I was surfing the web until I saw a notification from my local AMC, saying that the Mario movie wasn't playing properly, and that Toy Story 3 would be shown instead. Excited, I got my tickets, and while it was supposed to start at 7:30 a.m., it started at 8 a.m. While many left the theater at the point, I was really happy to see it again after so long. The movie played normal at the beginning, with the train sequence, which I noticed that the train had the number 95, akin to Lightning McQueen. However, there were a few minor glitches, and the frame would freeze, then catch up with the audio. Well, it was just technical problems for many reading this. Of course, I won't go into full detail, well, because it would make it boring. But to be quick, there was my favorite point, where a garbage truck, like one of those waste management trucks, picks the toys up, after Lotso manages to drag Woody into a dumpster. They arrive at the Tri-County landfill, and it began corrupting for a split second, then back to normal. A bulldozer gets the aliens, and another dozer puts Woody and his friends onto a conveyor belt. The moment the toys screamed when they hit the moving belt, the screen suddenly began to flicker on and off, and the sound system jammed on a constant loop of the toys screaming, and voila, the blue screen of death appeared. By now, I felt a little angry, but not that much, since blue screens are common to happen at times, and I encountered it before on my old Windows XP laptop. While many found it funny, I was one of them who didn't think it was funny at all, since it just ruined the movie. One of the fathers, for privacy reasons, I will not say the name of, asked someone in the theater to restart the film. Now, I was getting irritated at the fact that the annoyance I faced popped up during my favorite scene, and ruined it. Suddenly, the sound became loud, so loud in fact that it could have damaged my eardrums at that point in time, and I felt like ripping my hair out of my scalp. The screen soon turned to black, and an employee told me that they were having computer troubles, and that the movie will be up and running again shortly. The movie restarted at the point before the crash. I was about to smile, when, of course, the BSOD popped up once again, making me feeling a little angry in my nerves. Really? A blue screen of death twice? I asked myself in confusion and anger. I heard a father and his son laughing, but I angrily growled, furiously clenching my fist, since I paid a $5 fee to see this dang movie, but AMC ruined it for me. Finally, after I was about to call it quits and go into a huge rage, the screen came back, and I heard a sudden click, like a gun, from the cabin. I had the DVD at home, and knew it was less angering than this rubbish experience. The movie played as it always did, but the sound was muffled slightly, but I still could hear the dialogue just fine.
Lotso, the teddy bear, didn't press the stop button on the belt, and betrayed the toys. I noticed that their voices were different, and I just wanted to hammer that bear's head off and burn it. While many do know that a claw hauls them out of the incinerator, I haven't watched this film in a long time, and it was my first time seeing it again. The toys didn't stop moving, akin to something like my favorite, Wallace and Gromit, which is what the theater was gonna show another time. However, I heard the music from McQueen's Crash in Cars 3, which Cars 3 came out in 2017. There was no rescue at all, and I heard the loudest screams ever, that I had to put on my noise-canceling headphones to block out that god-awful noise. The toys melted, and they melted into colorful goo, making me almost vomit. I was very scared yet angry at this point. The screeching, oh, that awful noise made me yell. What on earth? I angrily shouted, as I felt sad for the toys, but my anger was finally built up enough, that when everyone left, I did too, but I said one last thing to the employee on my way out. Thanks a lot for ruining my day, AMC. Most parents were yelling with their crying kids, and I was one of them, without the crying kid. I started yelling repeatedly about how AMC ruined my day, and how they need to get a better security system in place for crying out loud. After I yelled what I needed to, I angrily went through the exit door, and I got into my Ford F-150 truck, and drove home in the rain. When I got home, I parked my car, closed the garage door, and angrily walked through the front door with my feet stomping on the stairs of the garage, and slammed the door shut in fury, hoping to not see trash like that again. Many on Discord noted on how angry I was, and asked if everything was alright. I angrily said yes, and I eventually calmed down, telling them about what happened. Later that night, I decided to play with my fidget poppet, which is just a popper toy, and after a while, I went onto my laptop and emailed Pixar about the ending, even providing my experience with it. And after that, I decided to play some Roblox to calm my nerves. The next morning, I was having breakfast, watching the 1972 Lorax, until I noticed an email from Pixar. Here's what it said. To Mr. David. From Pixar/Walt Disney Animation. Subject, AMC Theater Toy Story 3 Theater Incident. Hello Mr. David. We at Pixar and Walt Disney would never make a disturbing version of our third Toy Story film to date. Well, we do feel like an explanation is in order. It's not our fault, but, instead, was a hacker, who installed a USB, see photo below email, to stream a homemade ending. So that's why it looked different. Sorry if it scared you. Be sure to watch our new Cars show, Cars on the Road, available on Disney+. Good day. Pixar. While I was happy to get it out, I was surprised to hear about a new Cars show, since the film was made in 2006. Anyways, I will always love Disney, and will always love their Toy Story films. But one question is in my head. Which sicko at the theater was responsible for the hack?